Sometimes you don't realize you've witnessed the end of something until years later. When my son climbed to the top of Puerto Rico's Los Morrillos Lighthouse, neither of us knew he was walking through history in more ways than one. At the time, it was simply another stop on an unforgettable family vacation. Today, I realize he was one of the last visitors to experience the inside of this historic lighthouse before Hurricane Maria closed it to the public. And standing here now, that makes those photographs mean a little more. After exploring the colorful salt flats of Cabo Rojo, we continued driving through the Cabo Rojo National Wildlife Refuge toward the southwestern tip of Puerto Rico. The farther we drove, the more the landscape changed. The road narrowed, the vegetation became sparse. Eventually, the pavement gave way to a dusty road leading toward Playa Sucia, despite its name, one of the most beautiful beaches on the island. While my mom and I wandered the shoreline collecting rocks, my son and Grandpa decided to make the hike up the hill to the lighthouse. At the time, I was perfectly content enjoying the beach. I had no idea they were about to experience something that visitors can no longer do today. Standing nearly 200 feet above the Caribbean Sea, Los Morrillos Lighthouse has watched over these cliffs since 1882. Spain built the lighthouse during the final years of its rule over Puerto Rico to help guide ships through the notoriously dangerous Mona Passage, the stretch of water separating Puerto Rico from Hispaniola. Those waters carried merchant ships, military vessels, and countless travelers, but they were also filled with hidden reefs, powerful currents, and unpredictable weather. The lighthouse became their beacon. Inside was a state-of-the-art French Fresnel lens whose bright, brilliant light could be seen for nearly 20 miles. For generations, lighthouse keepers and their families lived here, maintaining the light every single night and helping ships safely navigate one of the Caribbean's most important sea routes. By 1967, the light had been automated, ending nearly a century of life inside the keeper's quarters. Even so, the lighthouse remained open for visitors for decades afterward, allowing people to climb inside and experience a small piece of that history for themselves. While I explored the beach below with my mom, my son and Grandpa climbed the trail to the lighthouse. He came back with incredible photographs. Back then, they were simply vacation pictures. Today, they're something else. They're a glimpse inside a place that most visitors can no longer experience. It's funny how history works. Sometimes you don't realize you've captured something special until years later. In 2017, Hurricane Maria devastated Puerto Rico. Historic buildings across the island suffered damage, and Los Morrillos Lighthouse was no exception. Since then, the interior has remained closed while preservation work continues. The lighthouse still stands proudly above the cliffs. Its light still guides ships across the Mona Passage. But the days of climbing the spiral stairs and looking out from inside the tower have, at least for now, become part of its history. As impressive as the lighthouse is, it's impossible to ignore what surrounds it. The limestone cliffs plunge nearly 200 feet into brilliant turquoise water below. The wind never seems to stop blowing. The waves crash endlessly against the rocks. Standing here, you quickly understand why Spain chose this exact location. The elevation gave lighthouse keepers an unobstructed view of the Mona Passage, while the dramatic cliffs made this one of the most recognizable landmarks along Puerto Rico's southwest coast. Nature did most of the engineering long before anyone built a lighthouse here. Looking back now, I don't think my favorite memory of Los Morrillos Lighthouse is the building itself. It's knowing my son unknowingly experienced the final chapter of something. He wasn't trying to document history. He was just a 10-year-old exploring an old lighthouse with his grandpa. Years later, those extraordinary vacation photos became a record of a place that could no longer be experienced the same way. History has a funny habit of changing after we've already lived it. Sometimes we think we're simply making memories. Other times, we're preserving moments that quietly become history themselves. And I think that's one of the greatest gifts travel can give us. Because you never know when an ordinary day will become something you'll never be able to experience again. If you enjoy exploring the history behind places like this and the personal stories they leave behind, I hope you'll subscribe and join me for the next adventure. Until then, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep making memories. You never know which one's history will decide are the most important.